living in Europe or UK, where I have lived in the last almost 24 years, going to 7 months, is to understand the bus system. When you live in UK, you must first and foremost have what we call your travel pass. These enables you to travel depending on where you're going within the interland. So you get one of these. But one thing that is most important is for us to understand that every bus have its own code. As you can see, that one is a E code, and this is Edmonton, where I'm just trying to catch on the bus. But the beauty of it is that you can also get the timing of the bus. As you can see, the W8 going to Lee Valley tells you exactly what time the bus is due, the 144, the 259. Depending on where you're traveling to, there's different buses, different timing, which is the most important part of what the UK transportation system have been able to do. While I'm waiting for my bus, I am actually waiting for the 491. You can see that it's telling me that it's due right there. And if I can tell you that the bus is just getting into, as you can see there. So what you then need to do, you need to flag your hand. As you can see, you flag the hand. That is the code. You don't have to shout because this is a civilized society. It's not like Nigeria, where you have to say oh wow, should you, oh wow. No, you don't do that. All you have to do is you then get on the bus using your Oyster, which is what I have here. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to be touching on the radar. This gives me the permit to travel. As you can see right there, it shows the green. Then what you then do, you find a seat where you can actually sit down, and then and the most thing that a lot of people ask is that so how do I know when to come off on the bus? That is the most easiest thing. The most important thing is make sure you don't lose days, because when you lose days, you've actually lost, whether you're buying a week or one day. You can do pay as you go. When you travel on the London transport, one journey, you can travel within an hour. So that will be approximately about £1.70. That is if you're not buying a week. But because I do a lot of movements, from point A to B, so I literally have a week. You can get a train pass, and they all have different grade as well. The most important thing as well is that there's what they call the Zone 1. The Zone 1 is a central London, very, very expensive. And most people that works there, that means, you must be earning a lot of money, and then you get paid properly as well. But if you're coming off on the bus, you can see this is the buzzer. This buzzer tells you, by pressing that, it automatically indicates to the driver. Let me keep this before I lose that. Very, very important. Have I lost bus pass in the country in 24 years? Oh, definitely. How are you going to live in UK in 24 years and you've not been able to lose a bus pass? So one thing is, while you sit on the bus, a lot of people, check on their phones, people listen to music, and people are going different places, I know where I'm going. I don't know where the next person is going. Some people are just coming back from the night shift because the country runs 24/7. These particular bus operate up to a particular timing, but there are also buses that runs up to 24 hours. But the only way you can find out is at the bus stop. It tells you by having N at the back of the bus. So if you catch on the bus stop and then you see N9, N91, N29, N53, these buses indicate that they run 24/7. Not all buses runs 24/7. So it is also important that you plan your journey before you leave your house. You can plan that by going to the TfL website. I'm going to be putting the link below in this broadcast as well. If you want to ask any question, you're coming to the UK for the very first time, and you want to know, how quite full this morning. It is just coming up to 7:30 a.m. It is a Saturday. In the next few hours, the bus becomes more busier. But the reason why it's busy now is, there's different grades of people that travels on the public transport. If this was a Friday morning, you'll probably get more students that are heading to school. But because this is a weekend, most of them are at home. They are not heading to school today. So you end up meeting people that are heading to work. There's also certain buses that if you do not press the buzzer, the driver doesn't know that you are stopping there, so the driver continue the journey. It is your own responsibility, to indicate that you're coming off on the bus. So if there's any question you want to know, you're coming to the UK for the first time, where do you buy the travel card that I've just shown you? You can buy that from any train station. You can also use your bank card, which is another new system for us to travel, which is the Countless. So you can also use your mobile phone by downloading, your e-wallet. So you can automatically use your phone to do that. But if you're coming from a country for the first time, you might want to get the Oyster and then move on by, if you then have, because not African countries, your card is not going to work in UK. So maybe you might want to buy the Oyster. But if you're coming from a European country, you're likely to be able to use your bank card. So I'm here to answer all your questions regarding transport. The prices vary. If you're traveling to outside London, you need to get on the coaches. I'm going to be discussing that in a different video entirely. But this particular video is just the first series. I'll be telling you more about different buses as well, like I said. And if you can see, the buses is moving, in a very different area. It's like off the road, because not all these are smaller buses, so they can travel, within the inner road. But the bigger buses hardly do so, only if there's emergency. And you can see, it is very quiet at the moment, even though, as I said, the most important thing is the driver doesn't know where you're going. If you're not too sure where you're heading to, you've just arrived into the country, you need to speak to the driver, and the driver will give you an idea where you need to come off on the bus, so that you just sit on the bus. Landmark is also important. Tend to ask for landmark. If you're visiting somebody, tell them to give you the nearest landmark where you're going to be coming off. Every bus stop has their name. The next bus stop here is called Nightingale Road. So automatically find out the name of the bus stop that you're coming off. Once again, this is my 24 years in the UK as I continue to share my experience. And if there's a particular area you want me to talk about, put it below in the comment section. I'll be telling you more about that as well. Every 24 years that I've spent has been different events happening year to year. But one thing is, it is still a journey, and that journey, we don't want you to do the same mistake that a lot of people have done. Once again, this is my own journey in UK in 24 years. Thank you. Remember, I'll be sharing a lot of the link below as well. Click on those links, and that will take you to where you can get more messages and information as well. Remember, do not travel on the bus or the train if you do not have the fund. You might end up paying a fine up to £80. Make sure you have your fare paid before you jump on that bus or the train. You might end up paying £80, and £80, that means you're probably doing about almost 9 hours job for £80, because if you're getting about £10 an hour, which is the average pay, then imagine paying £80 in one go. Do not do the mistake. Some people have done it, and some people have found themselves back in country that they've come from because they refused to pay the transport fare. Checking out